So in honor of Valentine's Day, of course, we're going to talk about, well, Valentine's Day, where it began, how it got to where it is today, and we're going to ask, what is love and where can I find it? So we have to start with the facts before we get the fiction. That sounded better in my head, but we have to talk about the history of Valentine's Day. People mostly believe that what we now know as Valentine's Day started with the Roman holiday of Lupercalia, which was thousands of years ago, and it was a pagan holiday to celebrate fertility. So, people fucking and stuff. It was fun, and a lot of the games that happened during this festival ended in marriage, and it happened around February 14th or 15th. So that's where we first see Valentine's Day happening in February. Then we moved on the line a little bit, and Christians come in and kind of screw everything up. Common theme.
These white men are dangerous.
The Catholic Church recognizes at least 3 different priests, or now saints, named Valentine. We're going to talk about 2 of them. And these are all sort of like historical legends, but we're going to act like they're real. The first one was under the Emperor Claudius. During his reign, Emperor Claudius outlawed his soldiers getting married because he believed married soldiers fought less hard and, valiantly on the battlefield. But these guys still wanted to love and have sex, so they still wanted to get married. In spite of this law, the priest Valentine performed marriages for the soldiers in private. And when Emperor Claudius found out, he had him killed. So he became a saint, and it's believed he died on February 14th. So that's the first Saint Valentine. The second Saint Valentine we're going to talk about was under another Emperor Claudius Gothicus. And with him, he was a Christian, which at the time was outlawed. Blah, 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 stuff happened. He ended up in jail. This priest, Valentine, actually ended up healing the blindness of his jailer's daughter. That wasn't enough to get him out, though. So he just wrote letters to the daughter back and forth, and he would sign it from your Valentine. See, get it? See the connection? Yeah. Well, when Emperor Claudius and the jailer found out, this priest Valentine was also put to death, once again made a saint. So with Lupercalia and the Saint Valentines, we see fertility and love, but we see it in a different way than we celebrate Valentine's Day today. What made it a billion-dollar industry was the cards and the chocolate and the commercials and all that stuff. So where did that begin? That began with Geoffrey Chaucer. You might know him. He wrote the Canterbury Tales. And he invented the Feast of Saint Valentine, which actually happened in early February and celebrated birds mating. See a trend? After creating the feast, it became a huge hit, and British nobility started sending, sweet nothings and cards and candies to their lovers around the time of the bird mating season, and the official feast happened on February 14th. Valentine's Day. Shakespeare got involved, then card companies got involved, then chocolate companies got involved, and now we have the Valentine's Day we all know and love. But I have a question. Where does the actual love part come into play? The actual relationships between people, not just the stuff. What does that have to do with Valentine's Day? And what is love anyway? Where can we find it? How do we get it? I think we all struggle with love and defining it and what it means to us and how important all types of love are. To me, love is understanding. I feel like you have to really understand someone, really get them, to love them. So we're going to talk about a few different types of love and how important they are in our life. So romantic love. I think that's the first major type of love people think of when they think about Valentine's Day. Your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your boo, your side chick, all that sort of thing. But where does understanding come into play with romantic love? Well, just like with any other type of love, you have to truly know someone. You have to get them for the relationship to be successful. I think a lot of times all of us start falling in love with the idea of the relationship and not with the person themselves. To have a healthy relationship, you have to know your partner's likes, their interests, their love language. Their love language is, because most of us don't have just one. An example, so you have this person and you really fuck with them, but you don't know anything about them. You don't know their history. You don't know why they act the way that they do. And I found that with a lot of times it's hard to have true deep love with someone when you don't know them and you don't understand them. I think relationships where people allow each other to have compassion and awareness for one another and allow their partner to be their true self and not who they want them to be are the ones that are the most healthy. But what do I know, right? Understanding and friendship relationships is the same thing. You have different types of friends, right? You know, you have your party friends, your chill friends, and your deep conversation friends. I hang out with the same people for all that, so for me that's a bad example, but you know, y'all know what I'm talking about. But when you form good friendships of any kind, it requires that same understanding. To me, that's honestly the best part of the friendship. Not always what we do, what club we go to, what we're wearing, but the fact that you could look at this person and say, I really know this girl, I really know this guy, this is my friend. And that shows how understanding is just as important in friendships too. So we've talked about romantic love, we've talked about friend love, and now we're going to talk about what I think is the most important kind of love, family love. And family not just meaning people who you're blood related to, but anyone who you've decided is your family. You can admit that relationship is a little deeper than some of your friendship. To me, this is the type of love that scientists mean when they say humans, cannot survive without relationships and all that. I think they mean the love from your family, those people who are closest to you.
Social connections or social interactions with other individuals is crucial to mental health, which in turn is crucial to overall health.
The people who you consider your family are most often the ones that are there for you from the beginning. They were there through your childhood, when you were going through crazy puberty, we all remember that. Your young adult phase, and for those of us that are older, they're there for you right now. And the best part about growing up is that over time we get to reciprocate that more, especially to the older family we have in our lives, And to do that, we have to understand them. I know it's hard sometimes. Why is my sister on my back like this? Why is my dad getting on my nerves like this? But over time you learn they're doing it for a reason. Because they love you. And once you gain that other level of understanding that your parents are people too, your aunts and uncles and grandparents and guardians are people too, who just want to be understood, that's a different level of understanding and a different level of love you can show towards them. The final type of love, okay, this was the most important kind. I know I said that before, This is the most important kind. The most important kind of love is self-love, because you cannot fully have any of those other kinds if you do not love yourself first. You're the first person you're with when you're born, you're the last person you're with when you die, and you are there for you every time in between. And to love yourself, you have to understand yourself. You have to understand why you do what you do, why you feel what you feel.
Why?
And you have to forgive yourself and have compassion for yourself with all of that. And I think understanding brings that compassion and that empathy and that forgiveness for your own self. So before you love your boyfriend, before you love your homegirl, before you love your mama, you have to love yourself. And that is the type of love I want to encourage the most from you guys this Valentine's Day.
Ladies, congratulations. And remember, if you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you gonna love somebody else?
Alright guys, so we've had the lesson, we've had the discussion, now it's time for homework. Y'all already know to like and subscribe, send me money, all that sort of a thing. But the homework for today is to go out and love somebody. First starting with yourself, then with your friends and your family, and then finally that, girl you sleeping with, whatever. No, I'm playing. But really, go out and love on somebody today. And for the rest of the year, really, I think all of us could use some more love and more understanding and more empathy and compassion. And we can always do it in the form of a gift. See you guys next time.